street fighting each other. We got to move forward when sons are taking the lives of their fathers and fathers have never been around. We got to move forward because the church has a target on its back, and we are called, commissioned, and commanded to move forward. Not backwards, not to the left, not to the right, not cha-cha, real smooth. We are called to move forward. As caretakers of his 21st century Church of Jesus Christ, it is up to us to keep the eyes of the church focused on God. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on Jesus. I don't know about you, but my mind is made up and I am sold out and I am walking and talking with the Lord, because if the Lord don't help me, who can? We too must never yield to the enemy. If God be for us, who can be against us? Point number 2 on this afternoon: God will defeat the enemies of the church. You hear that? God will defeat the enemies of the church. The battle is not ours, New Hope. The battle is not ours, Shiloh. The battle is the Lord. King Darius told them, governor of the land around Jerusalem, let the work of this house of God alone. In other words, he said, leave this project alone. Another way you can interpret this: don't you dare mess this thing up. Another way, you can leave the people of God alone. And can I give you the Albert Bailey Jr. translation? Go ahead if you bad, but you ain't stopping nothing around here. In other words, King Darius told him, you gotta back off. The Jews offered words. You better back off. The Jews had every right to continue to work. Even in the face of the governor's challenges, God's providence provided to sustain the work of his temple. When God gives you the marching orders, God will send the commitment and the supplies needed to execute his plans. If God tells you to move forward, trust in him that he will supply all of your needs. It brings to my mind a familiar song from the 1950s R&B's era. One monkey don't stop no show. In fact, those words are a common African-American expression that simply means one setback should not impede progress. Y'all hear that? One setback should not impede progress. When God has our enemies in his sight line, nothing or nobody can impede our progress. The Lord himself confirmed this through the prophet Isaiah, saying, no weapon formed against them shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. What does this mean? Walk with your head up high on that job. Even though they look down on you, you continue to bless the Lord, who will set the table in front of the presence of your enemies. What does that mean for you this afternoon? When your family members act funny, you still keep on keeping on. What does that mean for you this afternoon? If God gave you the vision, if God gave you the plans, if God gave you the writing, you keep on keeping on. God uses every opportunity to slow down the assault of the enemy. He restrains the wrath of man so we can move ahead with his plans. We don't have to concern ourselves with attacks from the left or the right. Like the workhorse in the field, baby, we just need to put our spiritual blinders on and press forward with a persistent spirit. Press forward with a persistent faith. Press forward with persistent determination. Guided by his hand. All we need to concern ourselves with is the work of the church. What is the work of the church? I'm glad you asked. The work of the church is to attract the sinners, establish the converts, cultivate holiness, advance spirituality, inspire devotion, unite believers, dissolve differences, encourage faithfulness, arouse workers, and most of all, New Hope, on this afternoon is